Hello everyone, how are you? Welcome to the Plant 3D to 3ds Max tutorial. One of a few, many, some would say. So today what we're going to be doing is exporting a Plant 3D model to a format that is importable by 3ds Max. Unfortunately, you cannot directly import a Plant 3D model DWG file just because it contains objects that aren't supported by 3ds Max. So what you have to do in Plant 3D is export that file to Autocad native objects so that that file will then be importable into 3ds Max. So let's stop talking about it and go ahead and do it. So we're going to start in Plant 3D here. And we have this file open already. I'm using the Project Y or Project Yankee dataset. So if you have that project handy, open it up. If not, everything that I talk about is applicable to whatever project you are working on. So in this case, I have this PIP002A_BD, not to be confused with PIP-002-B_BD or B_AD_D_BA. I don't know. I tell you what, this project challenged my mind like no other just reading the file names. But that's neither here nor there. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is how are we going to get this sucker into 3D Max? Well, I'll tell you. I'm not sure. No, it's not true. So we have this model, and what we're going to do now is we are going to export to AutoCAD using the very obscure command export to Autocad. You can create a shortcut for that or whatever you got to do. So you run it, and it says you must save the drawing first. Now, this is not going to overwrite your project file, right? So you can click yes and not be scared. So it's going to say, okay, we did that. Now, where do you want to save the file? For me, I just put it in my project directory under exported model folder. I created a folder called exported model, and that is where they will go. So my real models still live here in Plant 3D, untouched, unfazed by this export process. Now the sad thing is that I need to type in the file name, which bothers me. But hopefully they will include an option in the next release or thereafter that will sort of put the name in for you. But now I have to do it the 1984 way, which is typing. All right, so A_BD pipe0 to 3D go. All right, so what it did, it just saved that file to that folder here as an importable CAD file. So what you can do from here is, if you have a whippersnapper at your office who can write Lisp, you could write a Lisp routine to go ahead and export each file individually. You could X-reference the objects into a few files and then import that. I mean, however you got to do it. It's obviously very inefficient for you to go in and manually sort of do this. You can also, I believe, right-click on the file and say export to AutoCAD, which will save you the step of typing it in, will not save you the step of writing the file name. So if I want to do that one, I want to come down here to this guy, and I want to say export to AutoCAD. Oh, I can't do it because the drawing's not open. So the drawing has to be open first, and then you can do it. So again, not the most optimal of workflows, but that's the way it is at this moment. But like I said, if you got the whippersnapper, maybe he can or she can type something up for you. So this is IGC underbar A. Okay, so that pretty much covers the Plant 3D part. Plant 3D is not a large part of this tutorial set. It's just this is the part where we have to get the models out. I will say that there is one thing you should be watching for, and that is when you do your structural models. So if I were to open this ST004C deck model and then change it to sort of the shaded view, you can see that I have steel mesh objects here. However, I have these, spaghetti strands going across there and uncooked spaghetti. And then I have the same thing here. Now these aren't going to support anything. So if you try to bring these into 3D Max and render it out, it's going to look, you're going to look silly. Nobody wants to look silly. So what we are going to do then is we're going to change those to the objects that they represent, which are these beams. So what we do is we come over here, go up to the ribbon in the structure option, and we see this line model. Some people like to work in line model mode because as the geometry gets more complex, it will bog down the available resources, and nobody likes to have their resources bogged down. But for the export, we need to change it. So what we're going to do is we're going to change it to a mesh object, and you can see we have these options here, and as we go down the list, the shapes get more complex. Down here we have the most complex shape model with the curvy bits there, and we don't want that, because if you're just, okay, maybe you want it. I don't want it, because this is a fairly large model, and the more faces and vertices I have in the model, the longer things are going to take to render, process, the longer it's going to take to work in the viewport. I mean, everything just sort of increases exponentially. So I'm not going to choose that, but I am going to choose outline model, because that's a sort of a nice shape that you can still tell what it is, and it's not going to eat up all of your resources, just some of them. All right, so that's cool, and then you do the same thing, export to Autocad, and you must say drawing. Yes, of course I want to do that. And then 3D dash str dash. See, I already missed the D. 004 dash C deck. My friend Joel Harris knows all about C decks. Okay, so that's it. That's it for now. Next, we will import the models into 3D Max. We'll look at the different options and cover those in detail so that you sort of understand what you're getting into. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you in that video.